You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains. Sponsored by Capital Mortgage Services.
Welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. A nice gesture by city leaders honoring former Mayor Tom Martin by renaming the athletic fields at FM 1585 in Milwaukee the Thomas A. Martin Sports Complex. Martin served the city for 28 years, first as a police officer, then as a two-term mayor. Martin passed away in April of 2018. Speaking of nice gestures, the state dedicating a Texas historical marker this weekend in honor of former Lubbock Congressman George Mahon. The marker, appropriately enough, in front of that city library that bears his name and his wife Helen's as well on 9th Street downtown. Mahon elected to Congress in 1935, worked there for 44 years. And of course, the heartbreak in El Paso, the president along with Texas federal and state leaders all visiting the area as the community mourns the loss of 22 people in that terrible shooting. There was word this week that the mother of the shooter in El Paso contacted her home police department in Allen several weeks before the shooting. She never mentioned his name, but was worried about her son's maturity and that he owned an assault rifle. But she said at the time he wasn't showing any volatile behavior. His mother said nothing about the shooter's reported white nationalist tendencies, and she may not have known. It'll take smarter people than me to figure out if there are any gun safety options that should be considered after all these mass shootings. But it stands to reason that the first and best line of defense will always be a friend or family member who's willing to speak up to authorities before something terrible happens. And thank goodness a Lubbock grandmother did just that. Stopped her grandson, William Williams, before his plan to commit a mass shooting and suicide here. And here's KMAC's Tori Larned.
It hits really close to home, especially being so close to home.
It started with a phone call on July 13th. A court document states the grandmother of 19-year-old William Williams got a call from her grandson. That's when he said he was homicidal and suicidal and that he wanted to commit a mass shooting by, quote, shooting up his hotel. In the background, she could hear him messing with a firearm.
We need to appreciate and take care of each other, and so if you see something, you need to do something.
And that's exactly what Williams' grandmother did. The document states Williams was checked into Covenant Medical Center for an evaluation. According to the police report, his grandma said he was in the military for about a year before he was honorably discharged for suicidal tendencies. Brian Carr, a licensed psychologist, says there's ways to tell if someone's distressed.
I think we need to take that serious, particularly if you can see other peripheral kind of stressors on people, job stress, financial stress, maybe health stress, and believe them.
Williams is now in jail, accused of lying about his address while purchasing a gun. Now, with 3 mass shootings and a thwarted shooting here in Lubbock, Carr says getting to know others is essential in making a better community.
But now we're so mobile, you're lucky if you know the neighbor on either side of you. So to reach out and to connect with people and get to know your neighbors, get to know your kids and your grandkids.
There was less of a stigma. I think more people would go seek out help. Maybe be more aware, maybe get to know the neighbors a little more.
Tori Larned, KMAC News.
All right, let's spend 5 good minutes with KMAC's Wes Rappaport, who spent the better part of the week with folks in El Paso reporting on things for us. Wes, is there any way to quantify not only the grief, but the resilience of folks you've talked to there? What have you seen?
Brian, we've seen a lot of sadness, truth be told, but one thing that has come out of this is something that the people in this community really is just common practice. Everybody is so nice in this community. Everybody is so understanding. Everybody wants to help one another. And so what we've seen is people in lines out the door for blocks, in the hundreds, people waiting to donate blood. We've seen people who have gathered here at this memorial site where this Walmart is, where this shooting took place, people handing out water, people handing out pizza, making sure that everyone in this community is cared for. And so that is something that's been really important along this grieving process, is of course allowing that emotion, allowing that sadness to take control, but also acknowledging that this community can be strong, this community is strong, and this community was proud before this shooting and will still be proud afterwards.
Wes, the president's visit this week almost seemed to scare a lot of folks because really more of the worry about confrontations with protesters. At least that didn't turn out to be too much of an issue, right?
Well, it's sort of a conflicted situation. People are a little bit conflicted. They're a little bit torn. They have heard what the president has said about people that represent this community, about comments about racism, comments about the El Paso character, and so that was a little bit troublesome for a lot of folks. On the other hand, there were some supporters of the president who I talked to throughout this week who have said, look, we are here to welcome President Trump to this community just like we welcome everyone. And that goes back to some of the conversations that we've had about just the character that this community showcases. So yes, a little bit of conflict. We didn't see too much clashing, certainly differences of opinion, but you're going to see that anywhere.
Definitely so. The governor and other state and federal officials there this week as well. State adding $5 million to relief efforts. The governor also talking about something we saw after the Santa Fe incident, right?
Yeah, the governor has said that he wants to host a series of roundtable discussions. We saw that after the Santa Fe shooting, bringing in people, experts in terms of gun safety, experts in terms of school safety for the aftermath of that school shooting, and of course people who were involved in the school district and who were there on that day. In this case, it's a little bit different. We're talking about a shooting at a business, in a parking lot, in a much more public place in that sense, sort of open to the community. And so there will be some different folks involved, but certainly some experts in terms of the gun violence conversation, the gun debate, as well as victims and their families, survivors who will have a long road to recovery. But the governor says he wants to do this right away. He wants to have at least one of those roundtable meetings in El Paso. He plans to have at least one other in Austin and kind of seeing where things go from there. But he also says that $5 million is going to go a long way to mental health services, to some of the reimbursement costs of for the local city and county, some of their expenses in the aftermath of this. Brian?
Interesting to see how that works out. If there are any new ideas that come out of it, K-Max Wes Rappaport in El Paso for us for the past week. We thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.